let's take a closer look at the Microman figures, that these three in particular. There's a size comparison I wanted to show. Now, they're wanting to bow for some reason right now. It's not time to be polite, guys. So you see that Arthur, he's representing the humanoids that look more like us as humans. The reason he has a gold head is because it actually protects him in space, so he can actually not be exposed to elements of space like gamma radiation or just lack of oxygen. The Acroyears are slightly bigger. They're like monstrous compared to them. And the Titans, well, there's a reason we call them the Titans. They tighten over everybody else. Now, if you look at my individual reviews, you'll see that I've done quite a few of these, because these are, there's 5 in each time they produce, and they produce 5 at a time, normally with maybe an extra character here and there. There's usually 3 of these produced at a time. This is the first one from the very first series. So he's part of the Magna line. That's why he's got a magnet in one of his hands. The first ones of these also had a magnet in their right arm, because I guess left means evil. I don't know. But the laser line came later, so he's not from the same line, actually. Well, not the same series. And then the Titans came along pretty much toward the end, and I did want to go in a little bit more review of it, because these are absolutely fantastic figures, and I don't want to rush it. And when I'm doing these little 60-second things, the shorts, I feel like I'm rushed, and I feel like I'm doing what's it called, a Micro Machines commercial. But you could take their arms off. You can rearrange them if you so want to, which was a lot of fun when I was a kid with Force Commander and Baron Karza. Now, these are much smaller than them, so if you try to compare like the little tiny balls on these to one of those, you can't, it won't work. But if you have another one of these, they do work together, so you can mix them up if you want to. But you don't even have to mix them up. You could take their armor off. Let me take just the armor off, and mix that up if your heart desires to do so. Like maybe you think, well, I want him to have green and red for Christmas. Well, you can do that. That's whatever your heart's desire. That's what the creativity about Micronauts is. When Micronauts, when it came to America, was all about creativity. Another thing I like about the way they did their articulation is really dusty, because I love these things so much. They sit out a lot. The ball that's the magnet is also one of the articulation points. Well, he has an extra one in his shoulder, so he has like a butterfly joint, so he can like really look like he's realistic when he's reaching for something, or when he reaches up when like you're swimming. Like when you reach up, your whole body moves up, not just at your one point. So it's not like that, like it's really squared. You can reach up like this. So that's really cool. I really like that little eye for detail there. So when you're trying to move, it's easier to take his arm off than it is to move his arm around, which is a good thing, because you don't want to be too loose. Now in the middle section, it's a ball bearing. There's the magnet part, which looks a lot like Force Commander and Baron Karza. And that ball right there probably would. It's bigger than the other balls. So if you're trying to, I don't know, for some weird reason you want to have his lower half running around with the arm sticking off it, you can. You can do that. But that ball is bigger, so this one's going to be pretty much like it's being swallowed up. So the sizes are not the same, as you can clearly see. Maybe you can't. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, I can see it from here, definitely. And then the legs again. There's a ball joint there. And the armor comes off. And they have double jointed, let's see, I think, yep, double jointed elbows. I know they had double jointed knees. And his armor just fell off again. Like I said, the armor comes off fairly too easy. The feet have magnets in them, so you can set him up against your refrigerator if you want to. Just don't get in a hurry to get him out of your refrigerator if you're going to have him there, because he will fall off. Not that I know that the hard way. But no, I keep them all over the place. So if you're at my house and you feel like somebody's watching you, it's probably one of these guys, probably studying you. I think there was some other armor in here, but see the green right there? It lets you know that that's probably not worried about any armor right there. But there's something that went here, and I can't remember what it was. They also came with some weapons. They got little joint holes all over them, so you can attach the weapons, which is also common for the LED guys, because they have them, oh, okay, right there. Because you can attach like daggers right there or whatever. You can make them like Prince Namor. So there's 5mm holes right here, which is like G.I. Joe holes, oh, the older G.I. Joes, and of course Micronaut holes. Now, oh, I should have compared him. Let me see if I can grab a really quick. I was just messing with Micronaut. Sorry. I just had them right here in my hand. I hate having to go off the screen like that. See, Micronauts are 10 centimeters. Microman 1999 is 8 centimeters. So they're even more smaller. So it's almost like they could have called him Microman and him Nanoman. And that's what I would have called him. They're the size of the Micro Hoodman. I pretend like these are the teenagers and these are the old people because they got the old hair dude going on there. Plus, he's kind of old anyway. There was a line in America. These guys right here. See, they're very much alike, aren't they? Of course, if you want to see what the modern G.I. Joe looks like beside of them, they a little bit tower over these. The Titans still tower over them. Now, the traditional G.I. Joes are still going to be bigger, but they're going to be more like the size of the original Micronauts. So let me straighten out his legs. He was riding on a motorcycle. So, not this one. So, they're about the same size. And, of course, he's going to be a lot smaller. So, just looking at some different size comparisons for the different figures. And if you want to know what Changeron looks like, he's a much bigger one. He's like 6 inches. So, yeah, I just wanted to share my absolute love. I do have the green. It was from Action Masters. They just repurposed it and made it clear green. I love that vehicle. I like to do one on it sometime, but I need to have much bigger space. And right now it's kind of raining outside, so that's why I'm not doing anything outside. I need to do it while I'm outside, make a video of that. Because Microman is just an amazing line. If you can get a hold of some, they're not going to be cheap, but they're worth it. Especially these. These are like I said, this is one of the last ones they put out. And I think it was like the last thing I got from Rick Ruff. And Rick, if you still have those Kamen Rider things, I would love to have those. I wish I would have got them then. I just didn't know what Kamen Rider was when you offered them. All right. So which one's your favorite? I always ask silly questions at the end because I'm just trying to get people to have some conversations. Do you have any of these? I don't know. Well, again, I'd like to hear some conversation from you guys.